Hello traders, hello everyone, my name is Gregor and welcome to our new episode of Surfing the Elliott West, where I will look at some of the most interesting developments for this week. This video has been brought to you by Orbex. I will look at the Aussie, dollar yen, dollar CAD, oil and German DAX. Now, looking at Aussie dollar, just to remind you what I'm looking at on a higher degree time frame charts, well, I'm still tracking two ideas of this contra trend movement that is in play already since start of 2021. So actually it's almost 1 year that we are experiencing this pullback, and unfortunately this retracement is still incomplete in my opinion. It can be ABC X ABC formation, meaning a complex correction where wave X connects the first and the second zigzag, or it can also be now wave B in a triangle if we consider the first 5 wave drop can represent wave A. So this one also suggests more weakness, but here we will likely see even lower prices for an upcoming wave C. But bottom line is that we are currently consolidating here above 0.7 psychological level and between 7,300. So as long we are in this range, I think the triangle is a very good scenario here, meaning more weakness could occur. Now, looking at the 4-hour chart and why I think that triangle could be the case, well, notice that the first recovery here was made by 3 waves. Then also this drop was not really clear impulsive. Okay, we had some overlap here, so in my opinion also a corrective leg, and more importantly even upcoming rise was again in 3 waves. Notice that market also came down below this trend line support, so clearly we are either moving sideways or sooner or later even to the downside. So I'm looking here for a triangle to be placed in this wave B, and will expect more weakness after waves D and E. I think that wave D could still be underway towards 70.50 this week. Also keep an eye on copper. I was looking for potential new break higher on copper, but notice what happened. Market did not breach this wave B extreme. It rather topped out with a spike price action here and came back to the downside. So in my opinion this could still be wave E, and this goes very nicely with still more weakness possible on Aussie dollar as well, because if copper will see more weakness for wave E, then Aussie dollar could do the same. Now let's take a look also on dollar yen. Now dollar yen here, still watching 2 wave counts, but I really favor the idea that we are consolidating here in a triangle and that we will see a break higher. So I am observing here on the 4-hour chart an ABCDE subwaves, and looks like that this recent rise again was made only by 3 waves. We haven't seen a push above wave B, so we remain sideways and ideally making final pieces of this puzzle to complete the triangle pattern. Nice support for wave E is at 114.20 to 114.50 area, where you also have a 61.8% of this wave C. So that's this 61.8% fibs are very important whenever you are tracking triangle formation. So as long as we are trading above 113.44 and maybe even more important 112.55, I think that consolidation could continue with expectations on a break to the upside. Now let's take a look also on dollar CAD. Now dollar CAD here is actually, in my opinion, still potential in a bearish formation. Okay, so we could actually see more weakness here. I'm expecting CAD to do quite well, Mexican peso as well, because I see crude oil in uptrend. Of course, there will be pullbacks on crude oil, maybe some is already coming soon, so that's when dollar could see some upside, and maybe that's the case now, especially if we look here at the 4-hour time frame, which at this stage is the most important to me, because it shows some clear price action. Notice that from 124.50 we had a very nice 5 waves up, okay, followed by a 3-wave setback. Maybe this could also be a triangle here, so sooner or later I think that we could see a new push above 1.28 level. Okay, so I'm expecting more upside here on dollar CAD, and at the same time, as I said, maybe crude oil is headed for resistance. If we take a look here on these updated substructures, you can actually see that I'm tracking bullish impulse, but it looks like that there is room for more upside after the next dip. Okay, so more importantly, we can now count 5 sub waves within this wave 3. We even can count 5 subwaves on a smaller degree, fifth wave. So always when you have 5 waves, well, just be aware that there can be a correction. Of course, it's still an uptrend, it's still very strong rise, but just be aware that we could slow down. So if this wave 4 is really already now underway now for this week, then I think that dollar CAD could really break out of this range and above 1.28 level. Of course, the main story for crude oil prices is are tensions between US and Russia regarding Ukraine. So if actually Russia will not attack, then of course crude oil prices could very easily could come much lower, and at the same time, interestingly, we could see finally again bounce higher on stocks. Okay, so stocks have recently, especially since Friday, they have seen a sharp sell-off after this fear regarding the attack of Russia on Ukraine. So if this will now come down a little bit, then I think that crude oil has a really good chance to make this wave 4 here. Also, since I mentioned stocks, let's take a look on German DAX. So here is German DAX tracking 2 wave counts. More importantly, I think that higher degree uptrend is still here and that we are now consolidating. Also, I'm looking at the same or similar situation on the S&P 500. So we will look at the S&P 500 maybe next week, but for now I would like to focus on DAX. Notice that we have a very clear uptrend from 2020 lows, and now we are just consolidate. And consolidation in a wave 4 can sometimes be very complex, sometimes very simple. What is important is that here was a very simple clear ABC formation in a wave 2 on DAX. So rule of alternation suggests that wave 4 will not be simple, but rather more complex. So this can be the case here with a triangle for wave 4. Okay, so if current supports this trend line around 14,700, 14,800 holds, then I think the triangle has a very good chance. Of course, there is also a chance for a deeper wave 4 if these strong supports would be taken out. Okay, then watch out for a wave C maybe to move towards close towards maybe even 4,100, where you have these swing highs before the market stabilizes. But the important is that we are tracking consolidation, correction within uptrend. So I think that sooner or later this market will turn again back to the upside. But based on all the price data that I see here, we just don't have enough of evidence to say that this correction has already ended. We just have to be aware of these different scenarios until we get more clear price action, especially maybe on the intraday time frame charts. Okay, traders, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed this video and talk to you soon. Bye.